And I'm showing up as an investor for the last 30 years and consulting for as many years, coaching businesses for the last 15 plus years. And I started a mentoring program that we call Peers on Demand as a way to connect leaders and trusted advisors to do business, refer business, joint ventures. You get two or more people in the same room, there's always tension. And if there is no tension, then do it with email, do it with text. Do not meet with somebody. So there's always tension. And the tension, of course, has to do everything with the time under tension that we experience, whether it's fight, flight, freeze, being focused, or being able to go into a flow state. But there's tension. And the tension, of course, is something that we want to be comfortable with, or at least we want to get into a flow state. That's more comfortable, much more into an alignment. Now, the thing is, a prior speaker spoke about tension and friction and conflict. So we want to have tension. Companies want us to have conflict. We're already going to have tension. When we have friction, I think that goes in a more stress situation, the fight or flight situation. When you have tension, you're getting into a focus state or a flow state, more ultimately that. And of course, the reason for having conflict and why companies encourage that is because of innovation. My own thoughts that companies have actually two companies, the one that they generate revenue from, continuous revenue stream, and the future revenue stream. And in order to have future revenue stream, you must have chaos or conflict. So that's why companies encourage, more so now too, because when you had companies that were stale or stayed or were not going anywhere, it's because they did not encourage conflict. Status quo, being able to show up, do the same old, change is hard, change is difficult, don't do change. And that turned out to be a very good model for a while until it wasn't, until the Kodak showed up, until the Polaroids showed up, until the blockbusters that went out of business, until companies went out of business because they did not encourage tension or conflict. So that's something that we need to be aware of when we show up. And when you use the word confrontation, that's certainly a negative word. It's a fight-flight situation. But you can turn that confrontation into a situation of a time under tension where you get curious, where you focus, where you pause, where you transition onto a better state where there's commonality, there's discussion, there's an objective, there's a way that we can see the future together. And that's collaboration. That's being in the flow state. And I think that's the objective of where we should be. Now, in the speaker's presentation, she's not really talking about confrontation at all. She's talking about being courageous. That's totally different. Being courageous is being willing to take a risk, take a chance, being able to step out of the comfort zone and be able to uncover what's really going on. And of course, what she expressed is that, from my understanding, emotions clouds the understanding or the logical situation. So if you can uncover the emotional state that's going on and clarify that, and many times emotions may hinder the progress. Obviously, if there's emotions that are positive, then no need to hinder those or uncover that, because if it's positive, they're courageous, or they're very excited about their future, then you stay that way. That's where you want to be. But if they're fearful, cautious, doubtful, anxious. Those are emotions that perhaps are, well, I know they're clouding the thinking, but emotions that cloud some other types of emotions or perhaps some other things that need to be discussed. That's courageous coaching. I'm curious about the mystery, not your history, not all those things that happened in the past. What is the mystery? I'm put on my hat. I'm a professional. I'm a detective. I want to uncover this, and so I don't have to ask permissions to for the clues to go forward. And I think the best self for us is that we show up without emotions, focusing on the client's emotions, and being able to move that aside. And my clarity is once you do that, once you have that roadblock of emotions understood or clarified and maybe put to the side. I don't think you can remove it, but you put it to the side so that a better emotion shows up. Then clarity happens, better thinking. And with better thinking, there's better behaviors, and with better behaviors, better results. So that's my insight is that the emotions are blocking the thinking with the client, negative emotions. And it's our job to be able to uncover that mystery by parting the emotions so that we can go forward. So we don't want to eliminate emotions. We want to find the one that's an empowering emotion rather than disempowering. And I think that's our objective because when you have an empowering emotion, in my mind, you get empowering results.